Hey there, if you're a wireless technician, you know that feeling. A network just brought to its knees by some invisible force. Well, today, we are going deep on that phantom menace, radio frequency interference. And I'm going to show you how mastering it isn't just another skill. It's your new superpower. Let's get right into it. Now, just so you know, what we're covering today is part 10 of a much bigger 20-part series. We are digging into an incredibly detailed report from the pros over at RFI Detectives, who are part of Virtualization Options LLC. And today we're focusing on Chapter 10, which is all about the core principles of troubleshooting. So let's start with that question that probably keeps you up at night. What are those unseen forces that are just wreaking havoc on your network? This isn't just about a few dropped connections. It's about really understanding the invisible world that you have to operate in every single day. So here's our game plan. First, we're going to map out the invisible battlefield where RFI lives. Then, we'll talk about how to properly survey that environment. After that, we'll walk through a step-by-step process for troubleshooting like a pro. And finally, we'll talk about why you can't just fix it and forget it. You need ongoing vigilance. All right, let's jump into our first section, the invisible RFI battlefield. This is all about getting a handle on that complex, crowded, and honestly pretty chaotic space where your wireless signals are just trying to survive. And right at the center of this battlefield, you have the ISM bands. You can think of these as the public freeways of the radio spectrum. They're governed by FCC Part 15, and it's this unlicensed space where Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, all your IoT gadgets, and a million other things are all fighting for the same piece of sky. And that word unlicensed is key, because it basically means it's a free-for-all. Now, in this free-for-all, you've got two kinds of players. On one side, you have your intentional radiators, things like your Wi-Fi access points. They're supposed to be there. But then you've got the unintentional radiators. We're talking about devices like microwave ovens, industrial equipment, even bad light bulbs that just leak RF energy as a byproduct. And let me tell you, these are almost always the surprise villains in your story. Okay, so how do you even begin to fight an invisible enemy that's made up of both legitimate devices and random noisemakers? Well, you start by gathering intel, and that brings us to our second section, surveying your environment. Think of this as your reconnaissance mission. It is the absolute first step before you even dream of deploying a solution. And look, a real professional site survey is not just a quick walkthrough. It's a deep investigation. You've got passive surveys, where you're basically just listening in on all the existing chatter. Then there are active surveys to measure actual real-world performance. You've got spectrum analysis, which is your secret weapon for catching those sneaky intermittent sources that pop up and disappear. And of course, predictive modeling so you can plan the whole network out before you install a single piece of gear. And the whole philosophy here is just so important. The real goal of a survey isn't just to solve the problem you have today. It's all about being proactive. You want to establish a clean, robust baseline and design a network that's so solid you prevent issues from ever even reaching the user in the first place. But hey, sometimes issues still pop up, right? That's where we get to Section 3, the systematic troubleshooting process. This is where you put on your RFI detective hat and really bring order to the chaos, moving from a network in crisis to the clarity of a solid fix. And let's be totally clear on this. Randomly changing channels, rebooting routers, that's not a strategy. That's just guesswork, and we've all been there. But effective professional troubleshooting has nothing to do with luck. It is all about following a repeatable, logical system every single time. And this 6-step process is your roadmap. Number 1, define the problem. Is it slow speeds, dropped connections? On what devices? Get specific, because that's how you avoid chasing ghosts. 2, gather information, talk to users, check your tools. 3, formulate a hypothesis, your best educated guess about what's going on. 4, you test that hypothesis methodically. 5, once you're sure, you implement the solution. And finally, number 6, and this is the one everyone always forgets, you verify the resolution. Make sure the fix actually worked and, just as importantly, didn't break something else. This is the step that prevents that angry callback an hour later. Okay, so you found the problem, you fixed it, and the network is back up. It's a great feeling, but your job is not done. And that brings us to our final section, ongoing vigilance. This is all about shifting your mindset from just being a firefighter to being an architect of a truly fire-resistant network. The RF environment is never static. It's always changing. New devices, new Wi-Fi standards, new challenges popping up all the time. The only way you can possibly stay ahead of the curve is through continuous training and professional development. Because the trick that solved an interference problem yesterday might be totally useless against the tech of tomorrow. So far, we've been talking about accidental interference, right? Things like microwaves and your neighbor's new mesh network. But we have to ask a much more serious question. What if the disruption you're seeing isn't an accident at all? Now, we're talking about malicious interference. We mean deliberate attacks, like jamming, where someone just floods the airwaves with noise to shut you down. Or spoofing, where they mimic a legit network to try and steal data. Suddenly, this isn't a performance issue anymore. It's a major security threat, and that requires a whole different level of thinking. So we're going to end with this thought. Every single time you approach a wireless issue, ask yourself this question. Are you just putting a quick Band-Aid on the problem in front of you? Or are you taking a step back, using a systematic approach and truly engineering a more resilient, more secure, and more reliable wireless environment for the future? Honestly, that choice makes all the difference.